I'm Brenda Scharman with Cameo College of Essential Beauty.
And I'm Rickie Mehl with Cameo College of Essential Beauty, also known as Brenda's daughter.
Also known as Rickie's mom. Is this our 50th year in business or our 51st?
This is our 51st as of next month.
Okay, so as of next month, we are heading into, so we're going to say we're just at the end of our 50 years of our family business. And when I think of the last 50 years, I've been the owner for 36 years, and we've just had some obstacles to overcome throughout the years. We've had numerous storms that we've had to weather, but I have to say that I think that this is probably one of the biggest storms that I can imagine, and it came on so quickly. Obviously, none of us were prepared worldwide. Really proud of what our team has done. So over the past 50 years, we've had federal regulations that have put numerous schools out of business. We've had recessions that sometimes a recession helps us, sometimes a recession hurts us. We've had fantastic economies, which usually that's not the best thing that's in our favor, but this one again, it hit us like a ton of bricks, and it happened so quickly that we really didn't even have time to make a plan. Again, before COVID hit, we had a feeling, we were feeling it, and we canceled all of our appointments, all of our service guests that Friday and Saturday prior, but I would have never imagined that this would have happened this quick over the weekend.
And bars and other industry. Under this new order though, hair salons deemed non-essential. Now it's mandatory. Under the order, all non-essential businesses like hair, tanning, eyelash salons, barbers, playgrounds and recreation centers, gyms, theaters and social clubs must close.
Closure of a number of businesses Monday, including salons, spas, and others that aren't deemed essential. Errands, non-compliance can lead to prosecution.
For the weekend is when COVID hit, and we sent a message out to all of our students that we were not going to be in school on Tuesday morning. We were not going to open, and that was March 17th. And we called a staff meeting with all of our staff, and every time I tell this story I get emotional, so I'm just warning you. So that morning, Rickie and we met with all of our staff, and when I sat down with Rickie, because we were scared, and I sat down with her and I explained to her how much money we had as a company, and I'm just so grateful that my dad and my lifestyle has taught me to save for a rainy day. And boy, I will tell you, this was not just a rainy day. It's been a really rainy 2 months. So I'm really grateful for all of the people, my mom, my dad, my husband, just all of those people in my life that have taught me how to be responsible and prepare for a day like this that I really would have never imagined would come. Inevitably, it was here, and Rickie and I went into our staff meeting with all of our employees. So this is between 30 and 40 employees. And I'll never forget the look on their faces that day. Just looking in their faces and seeing the worry and the fear of whether they had a job or whether they could make their house payments or their rent or take care of their children. It was a really scary time for me, because I'm supposed to be their leader, and I didn't know what to do at that time. That's one of the first times that I remember in my life really being lost for direction at what to do as a business owner, because COVID was unfamiliar to me, and I didn't know what was happening and how long we were going to be closed for. And I think most of us thought that we would be closed for a couple of weeks, but again, the unknown is very scary. But what Rickie and I did is we talked to all of our staff members, and what I told them is, I don't know what this looks like, but what I do know is that we've saved as a company for a rainy day, and that we will take care of them for as long as we can. I told them that we were going to be meeting with every one of them individually to find out their financial situation so that we knew how to move forward and what they needed. We asked all of our staff members if they could reduce their hours, what could they reduce them by, just to help the company. So that day, we spent an entire day. We met with every single employee. We learned more about our employees that day than I have ever known, and it was a real gratifying day. At the end of the day, Rickie and I, we had cried all day long because they were so afraid. But we had made a plan as to how many hours everybody needed. And something that really resonated with me is years ago, before we built our new campus, I was speaking to my accountant and I told him that I was afraid to start moving forward with the new build because there were 2 new schools opening up in the market. And he slammed his fist down on his desk and he said, "You have never played to not lose, you have always played to win, and don't start playing to not lose now. That's not you." And that day, those words rang loud and clear in my head. So the next day, what we did is we went into our staff again and we said, okay, how many times do we say that we don't have time to do this? If we only had time, if we only had time. So we made a list of all of those things that we needed to do. We knew that we had 2 weeks, and we have a lot of repairs that we need to make, and a lot of projects and a lot of protocols that we needed to revise, and just junk drawers, clean out the junk drawers and get organized again. So we made a big list with every department, and it was really rewarding because we just were on fire. And then we learned that our accrediting body was going to allow us, with approval from the Department of Ed, allow us to deliver education to our students online through what we call temporary distance education. The very next day, I went home, I ripped apart all of our curriculums, dissected them, submitted them to our accreditor, and this was on Monday night, and we got our approval on Friday morning at 8:15 in the morning. And by 11:30, we had launched online distance ed. And that is only because we have incredible staff that really took that and just ran with it. So I think Rickie can tell the story there with how all of the distance ed and what we've been doing with distance ed for the last, not 2 weeks, but 2 months.
Keep it up, and we got roll call coming in 30 minutes. Yeah. All right, bye guys.
And they'll move it around and they'll be like, and even you're doing like color, if that hair is not laying down.
Yeah, so, I think the most interesting thing is our entire industry is really completely built off of human interaction and hands-on connection with each other, the students, with our clients. And so to think that we're going to do everything that we believe in, making physical contact with human beings, is now being eviscerated from us, and it's being torn apart. And we have a screen, we've got screens now in between us and our students. And not only do they have a screen to learn from now, and are we trying to figure out, we didn't know what Google Classroom was. Most of us had never done a Zoom meeting before in our lives. And so it was inventing the wheel in 2 seconds. We had 5 minutes to do this. We have 3 minutes to do that. And in hindsight, I don't know if I have PTSD because there was so much that happened so quickly, and everybody just like jumped in and figured it out. And if we didn't know, it was like, give me a few minutes and I will learn this, and I will learn this, and I will deliver it, and I'm going to make it amazing. And the staff did. We talked about getting to know our staff more than we ever have, but it's been amazing how well we've gotten to know our students. We're seeing their children on the other side of that screen with them, and they're also trying to teach them. They became online students overnight. They became online teachers overnight with their own families, all while worrying about the same things that we were. How are they going to finish their education? How are they going to be able to move forward into the salons once this does reopen? Testing centers, people had their practical exams with the state scheduled, and all of that was canceled. And so, everybody's life was just really flipped upside down, not just from COVID, but from all of the other train wreck of events that followed with it. And it's been really impressive that everything that we thought that we could never do or would never even have to do, we've been able to suffice and to really push forward. We really kept pretty much all of our staff. They're all amazing. We wouldn't have been able to do it without them. They have really taken the bull by the horns and pushed through, and I admire each and every one of them. They make me want to be a better person and make me want to be a better leader. And they have been paving the path. They've been paving the path into what will be, historical moments that hopefully we never have to revisit again. But I think, if something like this ever happens in the future, we can go in and we can feel not so frightened and not so unprepared, because we really didn't have an opportunity to be unprepared. It was, get it together and build the airplane while it's soaring through the air at 1,000 miles an hour. Now call ourselves experts at Zoom. I think I've had 3, and we have actually turned it into having a lot of fun. Our staff, they are now painters. They are helping us renovate the campus. Currently, as we speak, they are downstairs blaring music, painting, scrubbing walls. They are drilling holes, they're hanging things, and they're, getting it's out with the old and in with the new. And so we have been able to reinvent our business, to reinvent what education looks like moving forward. And it's just been really exciting.
So we've taken this opportunity while our students have been off campus and learning through temporary distance education, do a lot of things like Rickie said around the campus. So we have completely resurfaced all of our flooring. We had all of our floors ground and resurfaced with a new urethane coating on them. We've had our parking lot resurfaced, and it just feels so good when we walk in. Everything is clean, and all of our students will be coming to a completely clean campus.
We were really fortunate, per the Department of Education and our accrediting body, NACIS, to be able to deliver online education as well as bring on new students to start obtaining their education through that distance ed. So boom, there we were once again. We were creating a whole nother wheel to where we can't get a prospective student in the doors to tour the facility. So we're gonna take the school facility to their computer. And we have a phenomenal online tour that we have delivered through Zoom. It's absolutely beautiful. It shows our entire campus. It shows where the students would be learning, where they would be engaging with their service guests, what their classrooms look like, and just kind of painted a picture of the overall feeling of what we do here. And so we were really fortunate. We had 50 students start during our closure, and we're really excited to be able to see their faces next week and really get to know them on a little bit more of a one-on-one basis, all while practicing safe distancing and safe practical procedures.
And I just think that's crazy to imagine 50 students starting within the last 2 months, and they have never stood foot in our campus. I just think that it just goes to show what type of a team we have. Mm-hmm. We work so well together, not just with each other as a mother-daughter team, but our entire team. We're so connected and we're so cohesive, and everybody just jumps in. I'm so grateful for our team. I'm just so grateful for our team, because we would not be here or have what we have if we didn't have every single person that we have, because every single individual played a very intricate, critical piece.
Yeah. Well, and many of those students, that came in during this time, they weren't really planning on doing education at the moment, but because their whole world was flipped upside down and they were now jobless, maybe their other career paths had taken a different turn, and they had had passion in this industry for so long, and now was the time, and the universe just provided that and said, you know what, if you're gonna do it now. And so we got a lot of feedback along those lines from those students who started, and they said, you know what, I've wanted to do this my whole life, and now is when I don't have anything else to do, so I might as well do this, and I might as well walk away with a new end of this career.
And that's exactly what we're hearing. As I talked to some of our students that started, they said, I'm in my current job and I've hated it for several years now, and I want to change my life. So I think we're all resonating now and just kind of reflecting and seeing where we are and what we want, and looking at our future in a different,
what's important.
Yeah, from a completely different perspective. So that's been that's been a big eye-opener as well. Which I'm really grateful to have connections on a government level. Years ago, when I first entered the industry, it wasn't within a year or two, and part of our industry was deregulated, and that was nails and aesthetics. And we had programs for both of those. So I was like, holy cow, how come you don't need a license now in nails or aesthetics? That's crazy. And again, this was in the late 80s. And I didn't really understand how that worked, and we had programs for nails and aesthetics. We called them facial operators at that time. So I started digging and learning, and I learned how laws work and how rulemaking works, and I got involved. So I have been the government relations liaison for not only Utah, but also for the American Association of Cosmetology Career Schools across the nation. And government has always been really important to me when I learned how it was deregulated. So years ago, 33 years ago, is when I started working with government to learn about how we basically defend our profession. And I have been the watchdog for the cosmetology and related beauty professions for our state as well as for other states across the nation. What a great relationship with the health departments and every entity, and I work really closely with one of my dear friends and my closest competitor, Natalie Parkin with Skinworks, and myself along with her, and we have a lobbyist named Candace Daly. We work really hard for all of our beauty industries to make sure that we are where we need to be with everything related to government. So we started working with the task force, with the governor's office, with the health department, just so that we could help set the standards. I have this little saying that if you are not at the table, then you're on the menu. So I always like to be at the table to make sure that our industry moves in the direction that's right for our professionals and for our graduates and for our salon and spa professionals. So that's what Natalie, myself, and Candace Daly have done. We've worked really closely with the health departments, and we've helped come up with the standards that would be right for the personal service industry as well as the education industry. So what we've done when our students come on campus, I'm really proud and happy to feel that we're protecting all of our staff, our students, and our service guests. So when you walk into our facility, it looks different. Before you even enter our facility, we're taking temperature checks. Every single person must have a face mask. And then on top of that, we created the plexiglass shields, the sneeze guards between our receptionists and between our door staff so that they are protected. We've got hand sanitizing stations throughout the campus. We have disinfectants. Each night we have a janitorial crew that will be coming in, and they completely clean the entire campus. And all of our staff, we are on task. So it's hand washing, sanitizing, masks, you name it. We've got all of the PPE for our facial services and our electrolysis services. Our students will be wearing face shields. So we feel that we're going above and beyond, making sure that everybody is protected and we can continue on with our profession. I feel that we have to live our lives, and we can do it. We can do it safely. Something that is really, I think, a benefit to all beauty programs is we teach something that's called universal precautions. And it's where we teach our students and our staff that every single person we come in contact with has a contagious or infectious disease. That's how we treat the public, and that's how we protect ourselves. So we feel really safe, and we feel that we're prepared to open our campus on Tuesday morning.
I don't know.
Okay, do we look cute?
Some hair sticking straight up.
Oh.
You can't really see the back. We can't see your bed head.
Yeah, that's why I only do the front of my hair.
I didn't even shampoo the back of her hair.
No. Have you seen a sand crane?
They are cool.
They are so
Yeah.
cool. It's like something from Dinosaur Land.
I want a baby pink flamingo.
I know, isn't that sweet? Could you imagine a baby sand crane? Ooh, I bet
Just
they're
a
odd
smaller
looking.
sand crane?
Had totally deregulated. Let me start over on that.
I'm gonna redo that.
Okay.
You wanna scratch it? I said something backwards. I said gum bubble.
No.
Remember gum bubble? Instead of bubble gum. Anyway, okay. To get it together.